Alright, everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to teach you how to make empanadas de Argentina. It's a really delicious treat. It's something that I learned from some people out in Argentina while I was living there. It's really simple to make, but it tastes really good. So the first thing you're going to want to find or make are tapas de empanadas. These are really easy to find. Just go to any Latino store and ask for tapas de empanadas. And they look similar to this. They come in packs of 12s, but they're really good. Or you can make it from scratch, which I'll post a picture at the very end of this video, so that way you have the recipe for it. It's my personal favorite. And then next you're gonna want ground beef. This is my favorite that I like to use, but you can use like chicken or ham and cheese, really anything that you want. Then you're also gonna wanna find some diced potatoes. I have about a pound of that for this. And then you're gonna also want about 2 to 4 hard-boiled eggs. And the thing that really makes it taste like an authentic Argentine treat is something called condimentos de pizza or pizza condiments, but we don't really have that here in the States. So the closest thing that I found was called taco seasoning. So you can just find that at any major grocery store. And the last thing you're gonna want is tomato sauce. All right, so I've gone ahead and put the ground hamburger in a pan. I'm still cooking that all the way through. And then I also have potatoes, and I put a little bit of oil in there just kind of help it to cook. And then after those are done cooking, we'll go from there. All right, so now that we are done cooking the ground beef and the potatoes, what we're gonna do now is we're actually gonna mix them together, just like this. Doesn't have to be super fancy or anything. And then the next step we're going to do is we're going to actually put the tomato sauce in with all this. You kind of let it cook for a little bit. So I know I'm making a mess, but let's cook it without a little mess, right? And then we're also going to put some taco seasoning in it. And I usually just do about half a packet. I don't put the full packet in there. And we're going to just let it cook a little bit together so that those flavors blend together. And the other thing we're going to do is we're going to add the hard-boiled eggs as well. All right, so the next thing we're going to do, like I was saying, is we're going to cut the hard-boiled eggs just so that way you don't get a big chunk of hard-boiled eggs. Don't worry, my hands are clean. Yolk and everything too. And you can make them as thick as you want, as little as you want. It's all up to you. You don't even have to have hard-boiled eggs, but this is what I like because this is how I was taught. And for me, it tastes really good. All right, so the next thing that I did is I just put those hard-boiled eggs just right on top, and then you just kind of mix it around like we have been already. Make sure you get it all spread out evenly. Just like that. All right, so the next part that we're going to do is we're gonna start getting the empanada shells ready. There's a couple things that you can do or a couple methods that you can use. I don't care which one, they're all the same to me. But you can usually probably find this at a grocery store or DI or wherever. It's an empanada press. Or you do it the old school way with a fork, and I'll show you both ways, see whichever way you like. All right, so the next step that we're going to do is we're gonna get our empanada shells. So I separate it from the stack, but I also leave the back wrapper on it, so that way it doesn't stick to the pan before I fry it. And then I got a glass of water, and I just lightly brush my finger around the edges, and that will help it to stick and create that seal so that oil doesn't get into the empanada. And then I get about half a tablespoon, maybe it's a little bit more. And then what we're gonna do is we're just gonna smash this all together, like so. And there you go, your perfect empanada through the empanada press. All right, the other method I was telling you is with the fork. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the exact same thing, separate it from the stack, leave this on there so that way I don't ruin it or anything. And then I get my fingers and lightly brush around it, around the edges to help it to stick better. And I get about the same amount. And get it into the center as best I can. And then we're just gonna fold it together like that. Okay, and then we're gonna grab the fork and then we're just gonna lightly press on the shell to help it to stick so that when we fry it, it doesn't open up and get oil all over in the middle of it. But there you go. That's what it looks like. All right, so now that we got them frying in our oil, what you're gonna wanna look for is, so when you put them in, they're going to first sink to the very bottom, but once they start getting all the way cooked, all the way through, they're going to start to rise kind of like they are now. And then the next thing that you're going to do is you're gonna notice that it starts turning a little bit of a golden color, and then I rotate them in the oil, so that way I can make sure the top of the empanada is fully cooked, because there's nothing worse than having a doughy empanada. Believe me, I know firsthand. And then once they are done, we're just going ahead and put them on this plate with paper towel that I have prepared, because the paper towel will help to absorb some of that oil that's kind of sitting on the top of your empanada. So that way it's not so oily for all you health nuts out there. And then once they cool down, we'll go ahead and open them and eat them. All right, now that I got them all done cooking, they look really good. Now all we have to do is bust one out and eat it. All right, busting it out. Delicious.
Delicious.